Once again, we're here at Create Life Podcast where we focus on mindset, self-mastery, financial freedom, lifestyle, leisure, and community networking. Today, I got my man, Rodney Perry.
Yes, sir.
Rodney Perry, I appreciate you coming on here, man.
Man, it's an absolute honor, man. You have no idea. First of all, I'm low-key fanning out.
Oh, man, don't tell me that.
Man, I love the running back, man. And, you one of them guys, dude. You are definitely one of them guys, man. And
you play ball?
Yes, high school. I hurt my knee in high school and never touched football again. But man, I love the game though. I love the game. I play Madden every day.
You play Madden? You probably can be. I got away from Madden. It got too complicated.
You need 15,000 fingers to play now.
Yeah, and then you got to be locked in. You got to put in a lot of time. I don't really have that.
Yes, sir.
So okay, you didn't get to play football. So what took you to comedy? What took you the way you said, man, look, this is my calling, or this is what I want to do?
So my parents used to have like get-togethers, where grown-ups would come in and they would listen to party records. Miles Mabley, Richard Pryor, Don Bubba Bexley, and my bedroom was right off the living room, and I would lay on the floor and listen to these people be captivated by whoever that was on the record. Okay. And so I became aware of comedy very early. I mean, this is before I'm 5 or 6 years old. And so I knew about comedy, and then I saw Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live, and he was doing his bit. He was playing a pimp called Velvet Jones, and I saw that,
seen that part,
and that gave me a picture of what I wanted to be. And I wouldn't find it as a professional much later, but that was the beginning.
So who came to you and said, "Hey man, you kind of funny"? Like who's that person that kind of sparked that in you?
I had a teacher in second grade that would let me tell jokes at the end of the day if I shut up. Because I was a talker. I was in class, don't stop your kids from talking, and Mr. Thompson would let me tell jokes if I would shut up. And I was doing like impressions, Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali and all that stuff back then when I was probably second grade, 7 years old.
Oh, so you just started out at school and so it started as impressions first.
It started off as impressions, but, I'm from Chicago. So everybody funny in Chicago. Yeah. Your mama funny, your uncle funny, your granddaddy funny. You can get roasted at the family reunion. And so as I was finding my way, everybody around me was funny. My mother was a funny person. My stepdad was funny. Everybody was funny. And so I kind of saw it very early that you got attention when you were a funny person.
Oh, so you just took that and ran with it.
I can't say I ran with it, but I don't really know how to do nothing else.
Hey, when you jump to the comedy space, that's entrepreneurship at its finest. And that's one thing on Create Life we like to talk about. Yeah. Things that people are trying to do or people are afraid to do. Mm-hmm. And for yourself to go out on a limb, or somebody said, man, look, this is what I want to do to actually feed my family. Yeah. What would you say to somebody that's looking to step into that field, but they just got cold feet?
Wow, great question. So that's so much to unpack. So here goes. If you want to, first of all, speaking in front of people is the number one fear in the world. Yeah. One thing that everybody's afraid of is talking in front of strangers. There's a lot of funny people, but to go in front of strangers and do it is another thing, and so I would say be fearless, be fearless. And if you're a comic and you feel it in your heart, you got to go do it. There is no way around it. Right. You got to go do it. A lot of people are like, man, they always told me I was funny. I'm funny. I'm like, yeah, well, go on stage somewhere and then hit me back.
And see if you really.
That's my advice I give them all the time. Go on stage, don't tell nobody, don't make no announcement, go to open mic somewhere, and then call me after. Tell me how you feel, because if you love it, you can be great.
And that was the approach you took. So for yourself, so let's rewind back to when you say, okay, I'm going to do this. Your first show.
Well, let me give you this. So I served in the Navy from 90 to 98. I'm in my United States Navy. I get out the Navy in 98 with I didn't know, all I knew is I need to go tell jokes. So I packed up my family, we moved to LA, and it was hard, man. Them years was hard. And I didn't know if it would ever yield any fruit. I had no idea, but I had to do it. And so that was the beginning. And I took a temp job at the VA. So everybody will tell you to take the leap of faith.
Right.
But on the other side of the leap of faith is real life. You still got to pay the bills. You still got to feed your family. And so I was there, and I'm at the VA. This veteran who I befriended, he would talk to me on lunch breaks. And he asked me one day, he said, Rodney Perry, what you doing here? I said, well, I'm doing data entry. He said, no, fool. He said, why you here? So I came to LA to be a comedian. You know, maybe getting movies and TV. He said, well, you got to get out of here today. You can't stay here one more day. And I left out of there, and I ain't done nothing but comedy ever since then. That was 1998.
So you just left there, but you didn't know where you was gonna get your next financial meal from.
Yeah.
And just went out on faith.
For the most part, I think God requires that. I think God requires us to trust him. You know, and I don't tell, like there's a question among comics, like, when do you quit your job? I don't encourage nobody to quit their job. I say, get fired. Be so busy that people go, hey, dog, you got to go.
Yeah,
you know, and so I never tell nobody to quit their job, but because you got to take care of your family, but get fired. And that's the thing that when I left the VA, you know, I continued to do stuff to make ends meet, but I was a comedian then. And then God kind of clears the way for you after that.
And just went on from there. And I know you did the comedy thing, and then comedy, acting. What's the parallel with those? Was it natural? Did you have to take classes or any of that?
Absolutely, I took classes. I studied with Tasha Smith, T-Saw Acting Academy, and this is at her emphasis. It was just 10 people in class, and now it's a national thing she has. But Tasha Smith was my acting coach, and I still use some of the tenets she taught me then today. And so this is what I noticed. I noticed all the comics that I wanted to be like that was already working were also actors. Okay. And so as I looked at the landscape, I was like, yo, all the dudes that's coming back from a weekend or did a comedy club or went on stage, a tour, they was actors as well. And especially those of us who entertain black people need to know you before they spend their money.
Yeah.
You know, and so the movies and TV just help you to stay relevant.
Oh, okay. You know, one thing we like to talk about is mindset. Early on, how did comedy shape your perspective and overcoming life experiences?
Man, I mean, comedy is this, and you know, I think it comes from my parents. You know, in terms of, you know, my mother would never allow us to quit. Right. You know, like you could stop something once you finished it and not go back to it, but while you was in it, you couldn't quit. And you had to always see it through. And so that's embedded in me. And so when I took up this thing of comedy, then I just always had to keep going. I had to take one foot and put it in front of the other. And my biggest life lesson is every journey, all you gotta do is take a single step. All you gotta do is don't quit. Right. Only way you lose the game is to quit.
Yeah, you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I look at that industry, you know, you have to have a true entrepreneurial mindset.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're hustling every day.
All day, every day. You know, and you're your own business. Like my daughter works in corporate America. She say, Dad, you and Mom, she's talking about me and her mom. She's like that we were both entrepreneurs. My baby's mom is a hairstylist, which is the definition of entrepreneurship. Mm. And I'm a comedian, and so she has both of us to look at. And we were talking today. She was like, Dad, I'm thinking about changing professions, going to another job. And I was like, you know, I said, I can't imagine, you know, doing something else. Right. You know, but that's her life. And she said, if I ever I asked her, this is what I asked her. I said, if you ever become a CEO, would you like that? She's like, not really. I don't want to make somebody else a bunch of money. She said, I want to work for myself. I said,
you want to be an entrepreneur. It's already in her.
You got that from your daddy.
Yeah. No, but that's what it's about, man. That's one thing about creating life. I always think about create the life you want to live. That's like a slogan of mine. Mm-hmm. That's a mindset. It actually inspires me every day. You know, I see something that I can't have or don't have. I said, look, I got to go create it.
Oh, for sure.
And that's why when I see somebody like yourself saying, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be a comedian, and now you can go on to acting. What it was like working with Tyler Perry?
So he used to live like right around the corner from here while you playing it. So he's the definition of hard work. He write, produce, direct. So during I did a movie with him called Medea's Big Happy Family, and so I'm in the comedy club doing a set. Oh, I'm working a weekend at the Uptown Comedy Corner here in Atlanta. Roger Bob, who at that time was his right hand, he happened to see me in the club. He said, "Rodney, I might have something for you tomorrow." And I'm like, people say it all the time. I've been to Hollywood a few years at this point. I'm like, he ain't calling me. I don't believe him at all. Next day I get a call, so-and-so from Roger Bob's office. We need you to come in for an audition for Medea's Big Happy Family. I'm like, cool. They send me the audition, Edge. It's 10 pages. I don't know if y'all know about auditions. You never get you more than 2. It's a 10-page audition. I read it, and I know the guy. I know this dude. His name is Harold. He got a wife. He got kids. His family's out of control. Him and his wife falling out of love. They've been married a long time. I'm living this dude life.
That's me.
He kind of me. Yeah. And so I read it, and immediately I understand him. You know, my one thing Tasha always taught us is know the person you portraying. Know him. And so I know the guy, right? So I get off book. I go in. I know this 10 pages. I sit down with a young lady named Alpha Tyler. She was the casting director. We go through, we read it. She's like, Rodney, that was real good. Stay right there. She take me to her boss, a guy named Reuben Cannon. Reuben Cannon is done everything Tyler Perry from the beginning. Reuben Cannon actually hired me for another movie, Johnson Family Vacation, 10 years before. So I go in Reuben's office. Reuben say, we read for Reuben. Same thing, Reuben like, yo, that was pretty good. Now, unbeknownst to me, they were trying to cast this character for months.
And couldn't find nobody.
That's God conspiring in your favor. So Reuben go, good job. What's your name? Rodney Perry. Man, why do I know that name? You cast me in Johnson Family. Oh, snap. That is you. You was a DJ. Yeah. Okay, wait. Stay right there. He called Tyler on the phone. Tyler is wherever he was. Hey, what's up, man? We might have Harold here, man. All right, let him read. And I read again.
You do it over the phone?
Over the phone. I read again. Tyler go, okay. All right. What's his name? Rodney Perry. Perry? Is he my cousin or something? No, sir. He said, all right, Mr. Perry. Nice to meet you, man, and good luck. Hang up. I read 3 times, same afternoon. That never happened. And I get ready. I'm going home from the audition. I get a call from the wardrobe people, which never happened. Wardrobe's like, yo, we wanted you to come back. We need to get your size and stuff for the role of Harold. I'm like, ma'am, I haven't been hired yet. And she like, oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go. She going. I get home. My agent like they hired you. It's a done deal. You got the role of Harold, and that was. I find Tyler Perry to be the hardest working dude I've been around, because he's not only writing, producing, directing, he's also playing 2 or 3 characters.
Yeah, he's doing everything,
and he's doing everything, and he's doing it well. And some people, some elite blacks be like, I don't like Tyler Perry movies, but he's servicing a part of our community that's been underserved for years. And so why not? Why not do what he does?
Yeah, and for him, when I mention it to somebody, they'll say, well, Tyler Perry hard to work with. I'm like, I expect somebody that is great and he hold himself to a certain standard.
Absolutely.
So you get people that they don't have a standard, and they look at something as hard. And from somebody like yourself that had to grind when dealing with somebody like Tyler Perry, did you see it as somebody that's hard to work with because his standard's so high?
I didn't find him to be hard to work with at all. I mean, he just go get it. And if he going to get it, and if you can't hang on, you're gonna get left. You're gonna feel like this dude's a pain in the butt. You're gonna feel, because he's gonna hold you to the same standard that he's holding himself to.
Right.
I mean, and you know, we both Virgos, so that might have something to do with it because I'm a little insane too.
Virgo. I have a daughter that's a Virgo. I know a couple people that's Virgos. You believe in them signs?
I do.
I don't believe it. Well, I'm a lion. I'm a Leo. But I
See,
really
you
don't
believe
know,
a little bit?
a little bit.
A little lion.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So in that industry, the comic and the acting, like you gotta be resilient. Like, what are some of the things that you use or you did to keep going? And something that you can tell somebody else that said, man, when I'm doing something, it's just getting too hard and they want to just quit. They just want to give up.
Well, you can't allow yourself to stay in that space long. You know, like nowadays, a lot of the young men and young women suffer from anxiety. Right. You know, we talk about mental health a lot nowadays. But the reality is we all go through the ups and downs. You just can't allow yourself to stay there. You know, I tell my kids all the time, I say, I don't have the luxury of being out of sorts, because if I'm out of sorts, then who's gonna take care of us?
Right.
That's my job. That's what I'm tasked with. So sometimes you gotta take it off yourself, because your greater purpose is to help people, whether that's your family, your friends, anybody. And so Kevin Hart, who's my friend, I told him years ago, I said, Kev, you cannot be the only one buying the drinks. You got to create an atmosphere where your guys can buy drinks sometimes.
Right.
If you're the only one with money, then you're not helping nobody. You know, and so you know those nuggets you get throughout over a lifetime. Again, Kevin told me years ago. He said, "Rodney, don't tell people what you got going on. Let them tell you." You know, because if you are doing the work, people gonna notice. You don't have to tell people, hey, you know, I got blah blah. You know, I got so and so. You got to check my. They better see it, or you need to work a little harder.
Yeah. Throughout your time going, and the industry has its ups and downs. Was there ever a time where you was like, man, I can't do this, or this a bit much?
I quit one time, and it was early on in my career. So my first duty station in the Navy was New Orleans. I was doing comedy. I go to a gong show. Edge. I'm at the gong show. When I tell you, these niggas gong the fuck out of me. These niggas got a stick. I don't even know where they got a stick from. They pulled a stick out, and I had a big ass. They gonged my ass, and I was like, maybe I don't need to do this comedy thing.
What you didn't practice material, or
it's bombing is it can happen to anybody, but it's usually a series of things that cause the bomb. So I don't remember exactly what caused it. You know, was it the material? Was it me? Was I wearing the wrong thing? But that day it was bad. And I was like, you know what, maybe this ain't my life. And one day later, I meet my best friend, Harry Ratchford, who currently works with Kevin Hart. He's one of Kevin's writers. I met Harry, and he was so funny to me. I said, dude, you should be a comedian. I used to be one. Matter of fact, yesterday I was a comedian. I used to be a comedian, though. You should be a comedian. And me and Harry embarked on a road of comedy where we were a comedy team for a number of years. Yeah. And he pulled me back in. I pulled him in, and we rock together even to this day. He's one of my closest friends and my confidant and one of my guys.
Oh, okay. Nah, that's what's up. Shout out to Harry to keep this thing going.
Yeah, good speed, my guy.
My man was about to shut it down. Then we wouldn't even be right here.
Hey, who knows? And people always say, if you weren't a comedian, what would you do? I might be a teacher of some sort. Okay. I might be a teacher. I don't know.
Of some sort. What industry?
I've been teaching improv workshops for the past 10 years. I directed a movie last year. That's like teaching. Maybe something acting or teaching.
Or you stayed in the industry?
I would stay in the industry for sure.
On Creative Life, we like to talk about self-mastery, like how do you master self? How do you tighten up your craft? Like, what are some of the things that you do and things that it could help somebody else to better themselves as far as when they're going into their craft, say the comedian space or the acting space? Like, what are some of the things you do to say, okay, I got to stay on my A game?
The number one thing I do, and a lot of the young comics be like, what you doing here? But I'm at open mics. I'm on stage, whether I'm on the road or not, I'm on stage at least 7 to 10 times a week. So
paid or not, or just something just go up there.
It's the gym for me.
Oh,
it's the gym. It's like when you playing, you probably still in the gym.
Yeah, you gonna work out.
You go work out, and that's my workout. And it's spots here in Atlanta that I go work out, and I go up on stage, paid or not paid, because those free shows equal your paid shows.
Right.
And then I'm always in a process of creating new material. Because one thing that our current audiences don't tolerate is you regurgitating material. Like, if you're a singer, you can have your hit records and people want to hear it over and over and over. Frankie Beverly, we've been listening to Frankie, God rest his soul. We're listening to Frankie Beverly, the same song, Before I Let Go. If he don't sing it, they mad. Comedy ain't the same way. You gotta always, if I see you again, I want to see you do something else.
So you want to see something different, the same.
And so you gotta constantly be creating.
How long do you use that material, and when do you bring it back?
How long do you use it? Well, it depends on what level you're on. Like when you on a Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle level, you probably got 2 years with that material, where you from creation to special, and once you do a special, it's gone. You got to wrap it up. And so when you're at the Rodney Perry level, I probably can actually keep a set of material for 5 years, because I'm not necessarily working toward a special. So I'm always pulling pieces out, right, and add new pieces, because a new joke is like one of our children. It's a new kid. You're excited, it's a cute ass baby. Oh, that's cute ass baby. But so I got a little longer with a set of material. But when the world is looking, you don't have maybe 2 years tops.
So when you see the Kevin Hart, the Dave Chappelle, the couple that you named, and you see where you at, like what are the things you say, man, like I got to do this to get better, or I got to do certain things to go to the next level? Like, what's the mindset and what's the approach to getting there?
It's work, man. It's work. Like, the top comic in the world isn't 100 times better than me. He's just not. I mean, he might be 3 times better than me, but he's not 100 times. He's not Hall of Fame level better than me.
Right.
Period. But when I look at a cat like Kevin Hart, he up at 5 o'clock in the morning working out.
So why don't you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work out?
That's what you got to do.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But that's my adjustment. My adjustment is like, I'm not gonna let Kevin Hart outwork me no more.
Oh, okay. So you're looking at it from that standpoint.
That's my adjustment. As my own self, my own human being is like, okay, Rodney, you got to work harder than you've been working. Mm-hmm. You can't be a fat boy no more. You got to go out there and go get it. So as we stand now, I'm down like 27 pounds.
Oh, you're in the gym.
I've been trying to get it, Ed. You hear me? I'm trying to get it because that's all part of it.
We're going to work out together one day. I'm up here.
I'm not going to let you hurt me, Edge.
No. My stuff's easy.
Ed.
Hey, the fact that
you're not going to hurt me with your muscles. Ed got his muscles tucked away in that sweatsuit, but he's nice with it.
We ain't doing nothing hard. We just, the fact that, it's like a accountability.
We got to shoot that. That's going to be funny.
Yeah, we're going to do. We locking it in. One of these days.
All right, say the word. I'm in.
I just don't like early in the morning.
Me neither.
Okay, so we can do it after like 12 o'clock.
10 at night.
All right. I can do that. But then we got to go get ready for the club. I like hanging out.
The club, the hookah's for everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
We got that. All right, that's what we're going to do. And it's like when you're doing all this writing and you doing the stuff, I mean, you got writing is one thing, and then you go out and acting it. It's like what different minds or different space you have to be when you're writing for somebody.
Don't leave out social media. That's another job.
Oh, and your social.
That's a whole nother job.
So you got to be all these different people, but when you're doing it for somebody else, like what I'm getting at is when you're writing something, right? Mm-hmm. But you're writing for somebody else, but then
like
you're
another
writing for
comedian.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like what's the difference in that when you take that type of approach?
So I've written for people throughout my career, and you just gotta. It's a job, so you just gotta lock into that person, and
you gotta think as if you're them.
Exactly, and every person needs something different. Like my gift is organization, so my role on a writing team is probably gonna be like, okay, do this one first, do this. Let's move this here, and that's my gift. My gift is getting it organized and ready to rock and roll. So I might not write the joke itself, but I'm gonna get that mug where it's performance ready.
Right.
And so that's my gift. So when I write for people, that's kind of my approach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when y'all be on the road, I know y'all have to do like 3 shows a day or 2 shows a day.
Yeah, at least two.
I always wonder, like, when I see the comedian go up there, how you get yourself ready. And I think that goes back to the acting part. But when you got to do that same show, like
it's
6
never the
times
same
that weekend.
It's never the same.
But I thought they do the same show, the first show.
You have a blueprint of kind of what you're gonna do, but the audience dictates that moment. Over a career, like I may have 4 or 5 hours of material right now, so I can do 45 minutes first show and do another 45 minutes the second show that I ain't even do at all.
Oh, you don't use the same?
I can.
Okay.
I mean, but when you do, so I go to a weekend. I got a date coming up. I'll be in Cleveland Valentine's weekend, right? So I know that's couples, that's love, that's all that. So I'm gonna be in my relationship bag that weekend.
Right.
I got married people out there. I got people that live the life as a married person. So that's the set I'm probably gonna be on. I already know. So when I sit down and write my notes before my set, and that's one of my things I do. I write my set list, and that's kind of my blueprint. And your brain kind of works. If you tell your brain to remember this, it just will. And then I'm tweaking the rest of the weekend. I'm like, I like that, but if I would have done this other joke that I might have put away 5 years ago, I might go grab that.
Okay.
Or I might listen to, I record every set on my phone. So I got the audio. I might pull up the audio and go, oh man, I ain't done that in a while, and pull that up. You know what I'm saying? And so I generally am in a perpetual state of creativity, Okay. And so I'm always kind of adjusting. But every set is different.
You ever be on stage and you got a heckler, they get you off your material, you just go blank?
Never blank, but I will make your ass famous. If your ass want to be famous, your ass, and nowadays everybody got a camera, you can easily end up on the internet. You say and crowd work too is like a thing now. That's like a whole nother set of comedy now. Like you just living in your own space on your feet and creating like that. So that's a part of the set too. So that kind of make the set feel fresh too. Okay. When you
see the diversity in the audience, because a lot of times you go to a black comedy show, they point out the white couples or the white this or that. That's like, it's like a given. You know it's gonna happen. And do you think they come in there? Do they think they say, I know that, like if like a white person, they say, I want to sit right here because I know they're gonna be pointing at me?
This is the fundamental difference. So white people will come see you just because they read about you. Like you're at a comedy club, white people are going to be, oh, this guy Rodney, see who this Rodney Perry guy is. They look you up on the internet, they'll see Google reviews, they'll Yelp you, they'll figure out who you are. And they go, oh, hey honey, let's go see this Rodney Perry tonight. Black people must know you.
gotta be
Black
popular.
people got to know you. Like, don't get me wrong, if they know they're going to open mic, they deal with it. But if they spend their money to go to a club or a theater to see you, you better be who you say you are. White people are a little different. White people will read up on you and go, I'm going to go, hey honey, we're going to comedy tonight. Oh my God.
But do you think they position themselves because they know it's part of, they get a kick out of it? Because every time you go in there,
anybody can get an edge.
Yeah. But it's
black,
like,
white.
It's always that one white couple that's like, it always happens. So
I would imagine they probably anticipate, somebody. But I try to, whoever is the odd person, like if it's somebody in a wheelchair, I might get that dude some just because people go trying not to say something to him.
Right.
Like, dude, I know your ass faking. Go on, get up, nigga. If I catch you, I'm gonna call workers' comp on your ass, So, and sometimes I try not to ever be the reason a person is having a bad night.
Right.
Like, and so, there are those of us that talk about people and it's mean. I'm never mean, Like, you usually walk away from my show, and even if I say something, and how about this? People never forget what you say. Whatever you say. Like, I had a dude come to me the other day. Hey, Rodney, you called me fat ass one time. I was like, first of all, I don't even say fat ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fat ass. How the fuck? But at the same time, he felt he remembered every word I said that evening. He's like, "You said this, and this," and he called me big man. I was like, "Big man." I said, "I might have said that." I did. I probably just said that. And him and his wife just had an argument about him gaining weight, and so he come to the club and I call him big man. And so he like, "Dude, you got me that night." But now he's my friend though. We play poker together. We hang out.
That might be John, Big John.
Yeah, that's my guy.
One of the pillars that we have in Creative Life is community networking. And as a comic and as an actor, there's different little communities. And sometimes you look at in the comedy space, it's like a little division, but it's different little communities. It's like, how do you work within the community to stay good with everybody? Or do you just say, okay, I'm rocking out over here?
I mean, I'm kind of a guy that's kind of cool. Like, if you don't mess with Rodney Perry, there's probably something wrong with you, right. But I mean, that's kind of just who I am. I don't deliberately try to stay good with folks. Like, it's people that I don't like, but it ain't no reason not to deal with them or not to estrange yourself from them. Like, this time last year, Cat Williams go scorch earth on all the comedy game, and and I know Cat to be a great guy. I just don't feel like everything is for public consumption. Like you my peer. You my peer. And for me to potentially destroy you and stop you, maybe impede your ability to feed your family, that's unacceptable to me. And so I'd rather us be respectful. If we got to go to blows, let's go to blows somewhere. Let's go somewhere and let's go to blows if we got to go to blows. But all that, this whole new age of talking about each other on the internet, that's whack to me. Yeah. And I just don't, I'm not a fan of it.
So when you talk about the community, it's like, how can you, it depends on, when I look at it, like I always stay in a positive space. Anything I'm doing is positive.
Indeed.
But then when I look at it, I say, okay, what was the intent? And did it actually serve the purpose to take one person or another person to another level? And obviously it did, because it got the attention of everybody.
Right.
The things that grab the attention of people,
people like drama.
People love drama. Yeah. So that probably was the intent. And when you look at it, and that's why I try to get to the bottom of it and say, okay, like, why would we do this or why would we do that?
Have you ever read the 40 laws of 44 laws of power? 48 laws of power. 40 laws of power. Well, the thing about that book is you don't have to subscribe to the tenets in that book, but you need to know the book to know when people manipulating you.
Right.
So I say all that to say, it's people that's using 48 laws of power tenets. What is one of the tenets? Garner our attention at all costs.
Yeah.
What's another one of the tenets? Never outshine the master. And so you see, like, these it's people out there that's whether they comics or actors or whoever they are, they implement these tools, this way of life.
Right.
And so
it's working.
It's working. And so you as a person that decides not to live that way, because it's kind of ruthless life. So you decide not to live that way, you got to know that it's people around you that's absolutely operating by those means.
And they're using it for their benefit.
It's always for their benefit.
Yeah. So you have to understand who you're dealing with, what you're dealing with. But
that's true in business, that's true in business, that's true across the board. Whatever you do. You always about it. And you got to be looking out for your own best interests at all times.
But I think that's what kind of that's where the disconnect is, because trying to get to the next level and you start saying, okay, this is what people feed into. These are the things that people want. Indeed. So you have to, and that's where integrity and who you are, standing on principle, that plays a big part. And
that matters.
Yeah, so is this space really for a person that stands on principle, that sits up there and say, I'm not going to enter that space?
It's just a longer road. I'm 30 years in the game. I'm on a longer road. It was people that was on faster roads than me for whatever reason, but they may have lost their family. I wasn't willing to lose mine. They may have had any number of mishaps because they chose that road. Let me tell you something, dog. Sometimes you just got to go home. Go home, dude. Let me tell you something. Everybody stay at the party too late. end up at a party they shouldn't have been at. You know, all them stories you hear, them crazy Hollywood stories, is people. I met a party one time. I can say the name. I'm at a Jamie Foxx party. People that said stuff about Jamie a cool ass dude. I'm at a Jamie Foxx party, right? And I'm having a good time. It's about 12:30. Jamie leaned over the balcony and said, Rodney Perry, you still here? I said, yeah, man, having a good time, Fox. He was like, yeah, man, you still married, right? Yeah. He said, hey, it's about time for you to go home.
Jamie Foxx, turn up.
Rodney Perry, it's about time for you, it's about to go down.
But you gotta respect that.
Get up out of here, dog. Guess what I did? I went my ass home.
It's a time to go.
I open doors that's closed. Everybody I was at a party, I opened the door and I seen this. What you going in there for? Get out, stay out the room.
Don't open the door that's closed.
Stay out the room. What you doing? I saw blah, 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 do da, da, da. What the hell? Why are you there? See, people don't be telling the whole story. You there? What you, how you in the, I ain't never been in the room with no crazy. Party. I ain't never been in the room with crazy stuff, man. I go home, Edge. I go home. Bernie Mac taught us years ago. Bernie Mac didn't go out the clubs. He didn't go nowhere. He did his comedy and went home. That's how you have longevity.
I respect that. In the comedy world, who do you give credit, or who you say, man, this person right here inspired me or motivated me to keep going, or to actually become?
Eddie Murphy, first of all. I got a chance to work in a film, Coming to America 2, 3 years ago. And the guy is regal for real. Like, he's like being around a king.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, he was kind of above. It was some scuttlebutt on the set. You know, every set have like little drama. And I remember the drama kind of got back to Eddie. And he said some cool ass sage wisdom. He's like, you know, sometimes as a human being, you got to know that people are doing their best. And I was like, this nigga's amazing. What'd he say? But Eddie Murphy definitely is on my list of great human beings. And then, of course, people that you don't know, the people that give you those little jewels. This guy, years ago, Tony Royster. He was the OG when I was a Rudy Poot. And Tony Royster, I come off stage at open mic, he's like, Rodney Perry, what's all that shit in your pocket? I said, what you mean, Tom? I had my wallet, my keys. He said, why the hell you got all that shit in your pockets? It's distracting. People don't want to look at your pockets with bulges in it. To this day, I don't walk on stage with nothing in my pocket. Because Tony Royster told me that 30 years ago.
And it makes sense.
And so some of my peers, I love Tony Roberts, just the absolute great guy, knockdown funny. JB Smooth, absolute great guy, knockdown funny. And it's so many, man. My guy I'm touring with right now, Artsy Musa, a fabulous comedian, Melanie Marie, some great, and of course Monique is one of my favorite.
I like Monique, man. Like Monique like that auntie that's standing on business. Like what is like working with Monique, especially knowing that she had to go through all the controversial things.
I was there. I saw it from when they was working on the movie till she finished the movie. I saw the controversy happen, and she and I was together through all that stuff, man. And she's just the real. She's just the realest. And she told me this recently. She said, Rodney, if they do something to me, nigga, I'm telling. I'm telling. I'm gonna tell. And that's Monique in a nutshell. If you think it's like a lot of people, when you do stuff to them, they don't want to be embarrassed, so they're not gonna say nothing.
Right.
Even at her own expense, she'll say it because people need to know. Like Monique is a real big history buff, so she don't want the girls coming behind her to go through what Moms Mabley went through, to go through what those actors of blaxploitation went through. You shouldn't have to do that if I'm here.
Right.
And so that's her take on it, and that's what she's told me out of her own mouth. And I'm a friend and a fan, man. And you can't talk bad about that lady. She made sure Rodney Perry ate.
No, I like that. I'm telling you, I never met her, but I got a lot of respect for her. And
she'll like you.
She reminds you of
like
auntie.
Right? She'll like you. She yeah. And she was, the reason we got along so well is that I was never trying to upstage her. Right. You know, like sometimes comics is competing, and she don't really deal with that energy well. And so we was never in competition, and she made sure that I made a lot of money and that I was able to take care of my family. And that alone leaves me indebted to her.
That's what's much respect to Monique,
Yeah.
Auntie. It's like we got with this new wave of comics. Like, how do your era embrace those, and with the Instagram, social media, new formats? It's like, how does that work within you making the proper adjustment?
Yeah. So this is what's comedy is comedy. Comedy is still comedy. But what's changed is how you get famous. You know, when I was a young buck, we was trying to get on TV and in movies. Now, this your access to the world. You literally, any video could go viral and could change your life overnight. And so we used to have to go through gatekeepers and all kind of other stuff to get to that. But this generation and me as even an older guy in this generation, I got access to the world through Instagram, through TikTok, through YouTube, whatever the platform is. It's your connection to the world. And so what I tell my older contemporaries, I'm like, look, dog, you don't have the luxury of not getting on the internet.
Right.
You have to, you know, and so I like Country Wayne. He tickles me. And how about this, Edge? If you keep telling jokes, you'll get good. Period.
Eventually.
If you keep telling jokes, you'll get good. Like, if you're a bad running back, you're probably gonna stay a bad running back. But if you keep telling jokes, going on that stage, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find your way.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. You know, another one of the pillars that we have in creative life is financial freedom.
Okay.
And when we talk to the financials, it's always relatable to everybody in the industry. But when I see this industry, it's like you truly are independent, and you truly have to really stay on top of your game. You have to set your bar, set your rates, and I don't know if you have an agent or you have somebody that actually handles things.
Yeah.
But you know, when you play sports, they usually, you know, they have a group of people that say, okay, this is what we have, and they kind of have somewhat of a blueprint. Like, what is it like for you when you start going to the financial aspect of being a comic?
So you probably not gonna have an agent or manager early on. You probably not. You're probably not gonna have any of that until you have something to manage. So your job as a young comedian is to figure out what is your price. So I got a little formula that I put together. I think works for everybody. So I tell comics this. I say, whatever your nut is for the month, whatever it costs you to live, you should be getting 1/4 of that to 1/2 of that. Say that number is 1,000. You need $1,000 to live a month. So you should get 500 to 250 for each gig. And that in itself, and that'll go up as you scale up. As you go from 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 10 to 10, 20, that'll go up. That number will increase, hopefully. And other than that, I have agent, I have a manager, I have an assistant, I have people that help me. We all need a team.
Hey, so speaking of agent, when you have in sports, you know, agents are capped at 3%, 5%, depending on which league it is.
Yeah.
In your line of business, when you talk about an agent, what type of what's the fee for that?
My agent is getting 10%.
10%. Is
My
that the
agent
going rate?
That's kind of the going rate. It can go up to 20, not more than 20.
Okay.
Generally nobody pay more than 20.
Do they have like a one of the groups that kind of monitor all that stuff for y'all as a whole, or is it kind of like an independent?
Kind of all free fall, you know, and most of us are seeking the agency. So when you seeking it, you out of position already.
Yeah.
When you go into them, you know, you kind of want to be hot enough where they'll come to you, and you can kind of go, I only want to pay 10%. Or I want to, and send me my money first, and I'll pay y'all.
They'll come right to you.
You know, send me the check. I'll look at the bottom line, and I'll cut the check to y'all. You know, and so you got to learn business, man. And a lot of comics fail at business, and that's the factor that separates the men from the boys.
So what's some advice you'll give to somebody that's from a financial aspect, as far as, okay, when you come in here, you have instant success, and you start getting these checks, what's some of the first advice you'll give somebody from a financial aspect?
Sign all your own checks. Sign everything yourself. No matter what. If you got to pay your gardener, if you got to, whatever, your house, your home, do everything. And I'm a bit of a micromanager in that respect, but you got to kind of know what every penny is going to, because it's easy to get out of sorts when you got a flood of money coming in. Right. And it can happen. It can really happen. You can go from 0 to 200,000 overnight, or 0 to millions overnight. If you hit a lick nowadays with movies and TV, my buddy Nate Jackson, he went from 0 to to doing really, really well. My boy Ali Sadiq, who is a great comedian, he went from 0 to doing really, really well overnight. And so you got to be prepared for the blow up. Like you say you want it, you ask God for it, but beware, be ready for God to bless you.
Right. Speaking of business, like what's up next for you, business wise?
Okay, directing. I directed a movie last year, and Edge, to be honest, man, it's easily the best thing I've done that wasn't stand-up comedy. I really enjoyed it. So that's coming down the pipe. I directed a movie called Deceitful Lies. That's in post-production right now. And I'm creating a new podcast called Comedy and Crime. And so Comedy and Crime is my foray into the true crime space. Because as I looked at the landscape, the one place that had very few blacks was true crime. And we watch, Ion TV all day, every day at my house. So I was like, I'm about to get into true crime. So, we got some cool stories coming down the pipe. We start in January, and I'm excited about it, man.
No, I'm looking forward to it. And like always, man, I appreciate you coming on here. When it comes to comedy and crime, I don't know where I fit in on that space, but
hey, we'll figure it out.
Come get me. I'll be more.
But you probably know somebody that like. I want to talk. Anybody been scammed? Anybody that's went through different things, or you got a cousin that,
So you're going to put a funny twist on it.
Absolutely. So you remember the Carter High School football team?
Yeah, with Coach Carter playing the...
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking the movie.
No. So, what's that movie? Friday Night Lights, right? Was it Friday Night Lights? One of those football movies. It was a high school football team. Well, in real life, that team won state that year. And those players went on a robbing spree outside of Dallas. They robbed like 20 different places. And these guys end up catching time, like anywhere from, they call like maximum time, like 25 years. Like 10 guys that won state, and everybody in the area knew who they was, and they went to robbing people. And so we cover the Carter High School football team as one of our stories that we cover on the podcast.
So how would you use, is that from a comedy space where you're going to be laughing at them?
No, we're not laughing at them.
That's what I was saying.
We're comedians,
right,
but we're talking about true crime.
Oh,
so
okay.
We are the comedy and crime. So we find some levity in it. We have the dumbest criminal of the day and stuff like that.
Okay.
Segments and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm the comedy and crime.
Okay.
But it's the crime is all the stuff that you see out there. We talked about the Menendez brothers. We talked about Collie. We talked about Diddy. And so we give each episode is that conversation from a comedian's perspective.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all check out Comedy and Crimes. Looking forward to that, my man, podcast. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on Create Life Podcast. We here to motivate, inspire, uplift, give people game. You got a lot of information to actually give back to help the next generation. We're always paying it forward.
Hey man, I gotta tell you something, Edge. Create the life, bro.
I appreciate that.
I like that. That.
Create the life you want to live.
You may be proud to be dark skinned, man.
Oh man, we here.
You took it to the next level.
Dark and lovely, man.
Me, you, and Wesley Snipes.